We played 100 days of Stardew Valley with the main goal being to explore the new 1.6 update. With 3 side goals in mind: completing the community center, make 1 million gold, and get as close to perfection as we can. So, will we be able to make it to 100 days and complete our goals, or will we give up before day 10? Started day 1, I went ahead and grabbed my bed because I see speedrunners do it all the time. I then made my way outside to view the farm for the first time, and I immediately got to clearing. Once some farmland was cleared, we went ahead and started tilling the ground to prep for the parsnips that we were going to place and water. Once the watering was done, I went ahead and headed into town, and I stood by the saloon until it opened because I was going to buy salads to start clay farming. Now you might be asking yourself, how are you going to clay farm in 1.6? Well, dear viewer, I won't because I forgot they took it out in 1.6. Once I realized my mistake, I ran back to the farm and started clearing more trees out for more space because I was too ashamed to do anything else. Hey, I got a level up though. And that was the end of day 1, a very productive day. The start of day 2 was like any other. We started watering all the crops, and this is a good time to mention I did use animation canceling. It was really fast, but I read the note from Willie to go get my fishing rod. Then I got caught digging in the trash. Once I skipped Willie's cutscene, I got my bamboo pole, ran up to the lake, and immediately started fishing. I realized as I was fishing I was definitely going to run out of inventory space, so I went ahead and broke a few trees and plopped down a chest. Day 2 was a really good fish day for me because I got 2 levels inside of fishing and lots of perfect catches. Started day 3, we wouldn't have to water the crops as it always rains on the 3rd. Fish today. I would then start laying down the groundwork for an early game wood farm. We wanted to do this as early as possible so that way we didn't have to worry about oak resin for kegging in the future. Since it was raining, I decided to go fish for catfish. I caught a catfish, I did. I was locked in getting another catfish. That's the time I got a As you can see, I was able to snag a ton of catfish, and I leveled up twice. We started day 4 by watering the crops, and then I decided to fish for the rest of the day because I wanted to get my fishing level up, and I was able to snag 1 level. Started day 5 was a lot more interesting though, as the parsnips were finally grown, and we decided to have my friend collect all the XP. I spent the rest of the day fishing as I wanted to hit level 5 to be able to sell my fish for 25% more. At the end of the day, I decided to expand the tree farm as sap would be very important in the future. Day 6 was just filled running around the farm, clearing out all the stumps and all the trees and rocks that were still around. Over the course of the day, I was able to get level 1 mining and level 2 foraging. Started day 7, we decided to till a bunch of spots so that way we could plant a bunch of potatoes. We of course also had to water it. Once the watering was done, I went into town where I got the community center cutscene. Nice. I then touched this tablet so that way I could learn the Junimo language later. I then ran down to Piers to buy the potato seeds, and then we went ahead and planted them in the ground. I know. This would be a good time to mention that I'm using the UI Info Suite mod, as I think it makes the game look a lot better. I realized the mines had opened up, so I ran over there real quick to get my sword. I set my friends up to the task of watering the plants so I could get to the mines early. The main goal for the mines today was to push as many floor levels as we possibly could. That's when one of the craziest things happened. Oh my god, I got an ancient seed. I didn't even realize.
No fucking shot, bro.
Yeah. Wow. As you saw, I was able to get an ancient seed on day 8. I was also able to snag a few levels onto mining and combat. We were able to get down 25 floors in the mine, which isn't too bad. Going into day 9, it was raining, so we didn't have to bother watering the crops. This is also a great time to mention that I'm playing with my friend Stelio, so huge shout out to him for putting in the time and effort to help me out. I decided to spend the rest of the day catfish farming, as it was a really good way to make money early on. The start of day 10, Marnie came to our door with a dog, and we decided to name it after our friend, Pie. Then it was back to the regular farm activities of watering the plants. We were in need of some money, so I took all the fish that I had collected and sold it to Willie. I then ran over to the saloon real quick to pick up some more salads for energy. I wanted to progress further into the mines, so that's exactly what I did. While going down the floors, I was able to snag a level in mining, and by the end of the day, I was able to hit floor 40, the start of the ice floors. Day 11 starts off the same, watering the crops. I wanted to start working on the community center as soon as possible, but to do that, I would have to talk to the wizard to learn the Junimo language fully. Now that might have been a little confusing because I skipped the cutscene, but I was able to learn the Junimo language and start turning stuff into the bundles. And since I completed the bundle, I unlocked the pantry and the fish tank. And for the rest of the day, I started resetting floor mines. Now you might be a little confused on what that actually means, but there's a strategy where you just reset mine floors by going back up and down, so that way you can make getting ores a lot easier. Day 12 it was raining again, so we didn't have to worry about watering the crops. I also planted the ancient seed that I found on day 8. I then spent the rest of the day resetting copper floors, because copper is used in every single crafting recipe that's useful to us. And another mining level. Started day 13, it was going to be a really big day because the potatoes were grown. Once again, my friend would be the one picking them, so that way he would get all the farming experience. Once those potatoes were harvested, we then headed into the egg festival to buy as many strawberry seeds as we could. I then went around talking to all the NPCs as it was one of the quests. Once that was finally done, we could start the egg festival. Now I was super competitive and I would not let my friend beat me. And after absolutely destroying my friend, I won the egg festival. And as a reward, I got one of my favorite hats in the game, the straw hat. But before going to sleep for the night, we threw down our strawberry seeds and watered them, of course. Started day 14, I grabbed daffodils as it was Haley's birthday and this was the only gift that I could give her. But before giving her a gift, I sold those potatoes that we had been stocking up. I then bought 50 parsnip seeds as we would need these for the quality crop bundle and the seeds for the spring crop bundle. Once I was back at the farm, Demetrius came by saying he could make my cave into a bat cave or a mushroom cave. I of course picked a bat cave because the mushroom one sucks. I also put the green bean and cauliflower under the ground, making sure to water them. And all the parsnips as well. With that all over, I was finally able to give Haley her birthday present. And for the rest of the day, I reset the iron floor mines. I also hit level 4 mining. Starter day 15 had me watering all the parsnips.
Different.
I then remembered I had to collect my ancient seed from the museum as I never did before. Because the blacksmith was right next to the museum, I ran in to buy some coal because I was collecting a ton of ore that needed to be smelted. I then ran back to the farm to plant down that ancient seed, and this was the best decision I've ever made, and you'll see why later. And for the rest of the day, I just reset floor mines again because I wanted to build up that ore. The start of day 16, I didn't have to water any plants as it was raining, and can you guess what I did for the rest of the day? That's right, I reset floor mines. But I was able to snag a level in combat, and in mining hitting level 5, which is a huge milestone. Day 17 was just filled with more floor resetting, and day 18 as well. Started day 19, it was raining, so I didn't have to bother watering the crops. We also had trees starting to grow, so we made sure to tap each and every one of them. Because it was raining, I decided to fish for a catfish and a shad, and I was able to catch both of them. I then took my new fishy friends and turned them into the river fish bundle. I then ran up to the lake and started fishing for the lake fish, but I was able to pull a new sword, the Neptune's Glaive. More fish turn-ins. Started day 20 had me filling my watering can to water the crops. I also don't know when it happened, but we did end up picking all those parsnips, getting the 5 quality ones that we needed. Since the strawberries were going to be done growing tomorrow, we decided to set up preserve jars to increase their value by 2x, which is a crazy amount. It was also time to start turning in a ton, and I mean a ton of things to the community center. I gotta worry too much anymore. Started day 21, the strawberries were finally grown, so I had my friends start picking them. We then started preserving them, but we wouldn't be able to preserve too many as we only had 6 preserve jars, but it's better than nothing. I then ran over to Clint's to buy more coal to smelt more ores, and I reset the floor mines once again. Started day 21, I realized my biggest mistake. I had been mining copper and iron when I needed to be mining gold and iron for quality sprinklers. Now, it wasn't too big of a deal. If I could get enough gold by the end of this month, we would be fine, but that means I'd have to start pushing floor mines every day until I reached the gold floor of the mines. The start of day 23 had me pushing down floor mines as fast as possible. It didn't take too long to reach the gold part of the mine, so I could start refreshing the floors. And that's exactly what I did for the remaining part of the day, was just reset the floor mines. And with all that floor resetting, I was able to hit level 6 mining. Start of day 24 had us placing down the first set of quality sprinklers on the strawberries, so we didn't have to worry about watering them. And of course, I ran over to the mines to start resetting gold floors again. And that's what I did for the rest of the day, but when I went to sleep, something crazy happened. What?
Sometimes like when you're scrolling and it does, so you have to stop what you're doing.
Yo, if that fairy's on the... Wait.
Please.
Oh. That's insta-gross. That insta-grows it.
I forgot that's the other ancient seed. I thought she was skipping the other one.
No, it's an area effect. All those things are insta-growed now. Started at 25, had us immediately going to check out the ancient fruit that got grown over the night. Dude, that's insane. Dude, that's actually insane. And to keep the crazy train going, I completed the boiler room.
Well, not just enough. There was enough stone here.
Yeah. I completed the boiler room. And with the boiler room complete, we had access to the minecarts in the morning. This also means that we're one step closer to completing the community center year 1. We then decided it'd be best to turn these ancient fruit into jelly for money. They only take 2 days too. And before the day was fully done, I started prepping for summer first so that way we could get as many plants down as possible. And when we went to sleep that night, we were able to get the minecarts unlocked. We had a pretty big day 25. The start of day 26 had perfect luck today, so I ran over to the mines, of course. That's when my friend found this.
Red cabbage.
You heard him right. He found the red cabbage. The luck in this run is insane. And for the rest of the day, I just reset floor mines. But I was able to get another level in combat and another level inside of mining. Started day 27, I stood around and did absolutely nothing the entire day. The big 28, the last day of spring. Today would be another day of standing around doing nothing, but I did collect stuff for gold so that way we would have enough to plant things during summer. And as spring 28 came to an end, I went to bed, pushing us into summer first. The start of day 29, we had to start clearing up the farm. And of course that meant clearing up all the old dead plants from spring. I also wanted to touch up on the sprinkler placement. With that out of the way, we started prepping the farm for melons as that would be our main crop this season. I had accidentally forgot to sell the valuables I was supposed to sell in spring 28. Of course that didn't mean much because I could just start selling to Pier, and with some newfound money in our pocket, I was able to buy the summer bundle seeds. Then I bought all the melon seeds we would need. And of course we started putting all the melon seeds into the ground. The start of day 30 will actually have us inside of the community center as I had one thing I wanted to turn in, the apricot. We would also buy the stone floor recipe as it will be useful here in a second. The farm felt very bland, so I decided to start sprucing it up with some pathways. See, doesn't that look so much better? I then decided to do nothing for the rest of the day because I am the laziest person alive. Started day 31, I saw that we had max luck, so I obviously had to start pushing floors in the mine. Just getting down floors, I suppose. Even with max luck, we were only able to make it down 10 floors, which is not that good, and we ended up running out of time in the day. The start of day 32, some jam was ready, so I picked that up before going to the mines. Actually, I lied because I went to the bat cave first to pick up all the fruit that's collected there. Now we're at the mines, but it is pretty bad luck, so I'm not expecting too much, and I didn't get too much. I only made it down 5 floors, which is not entirely the best. The start of day 33 was going to be a pretty big one, as I was collecting a bunch of stuff to turn into the museum and the community center. And that's exactly what I did, so enjoy this montage.
Easy. Farmed.
Stray pickaxe upgrade. Yeah, I like some installed. As you can see, day 32 was a pretty big day for turning stuff in. Day 34 was the first and only day of green rain, and we really didn't do too much during the day and went to sleep pretty early, as the event was kind of boring. Nothing really special happened on day 35, but I did get my new copper pickaxe, and immediately after getting it, I upgraded it to steel. Day 36 was going to be a day of fishing, as we needed a few fish from summer for the fish tank inside of the community center. The octopus. Wait, no, that's a pufferfish. As you saw, I caught the 3 fish that we needed for the ocean fish bundle and the pufferfish. Day 37, we're actually going to be standing outside of the blacksmith because my pickaxe has been done for a few days and I had completely forgot about it. And with my new shiny pickaxe, I immediately started resetting floor mines for the rest of the day. Day 38 was much of the same, just more floor mine resetting. Also, while in the mines, I hit the big milestone of combat level 5, basically. I just picked a really basic fighter perk as I didn't really care too much. Day 39 was just more floor mine resetting. But I managed to hit level 8 mining. Day 40, I did absolutely nothing the entire day. Finally, on day 41, some stuff actually happened that wasn't mining and doing nothing. The melons were grown. And as I watched my friend pick all those melons, I just knew it. I could smell it, all the money that was being made. And of course, with all these new melons, I put them into the preserve jars. I also had to rebuy all the seeds, and that's what I did at Piers. I think I went a little over. It's fine though. And planted them all on the ground. Day 42 is also going to be another really big day because we were going to start getting kegs down. I then started placing down all the kegs I had my friend craft. And with all of them down, I started putting melons into them immediately. Start kegging everything. And can you guess what I did for the rest of the day? Yeah, that's right. I stood around. And can you guess what I did for day 43? Mind resetting. Okay, this is getting a little outrageous. If I skip over anything, it's because I was floor resetting. Day 45 would have us start over at Robin's to buy some wood for general use. I then just fished to fish for the rest of the day. And we actually made some decent money.
Some fish alongside you as well.
Day 46 will have us starting out in the mines, as I was going to be pushing as many floors as possible today because it was max luck. We made it to floor 100 pretty quickly, and we were able to collect our first star drop.
Yeah.
And the luck did not stop there, as quickly after that, we were able to make it to floor 120, getting the skull key. Day 47 had us starting off with collecting some melon jelly. And for the rest of the day after that, I did absolutely nothing besides play some pathing. Oh, and 3 chests too. Started day 48, we were back over at Robin's, and this time I was buying wood and stone for the construction bundle.
Just to make sure you're safe.
I also bought enough wood and stone to build the coop. Making a cube. I then ran over to the community center and plopped in all the stuff for the construction bundle. And for the rest of the day, I didn't do much. Day 49 has us over at the community center, where I completed the most expensive bundle inside of the vault. You might be wondering why I completed that one specifically, but I unlocked the crystallarium with that, which allowed me to duplicate jades for staircases in the future. And for the rest of the day, I just expanded the tree farm. Day 50, I didn't do anything per usual, but at the end of the day when we went to sleep, Q dropped his mystery boxes across Stardew Valley. And started day 51, the most tragic thing happened. What the f, dude?
What?
I thought I just got the trash hat, but I got the trash catalog. I don't even know what this is. I've never even seen this. Just for a little context here, I have never once pulled the trash can hat in my entire time playing Stardew Valley, and I have always wanted it so bad. While I was down at Willie's, I bought the iridium rod, and for the rest of the day, I just did some light fishing. The start of day 52, I ate a book, and then I also realized the coop was done, so I ran on down to Marnie's to buy 2 chickens. Then I named said chicken Andrew, so shout out to any Andrews watching. I then raced back up to the coop to meet my 2 new chicks. I then checked out that trash catalog that I pulled the day earlier, and it had a few cool items.
I can place a flipping tire, dude.
Funny enough, I actually really liked how the tires looked, so I put down a ton of them. And for the rest of the day, I did nothing. Day 53 was a really calm day. I just watched my friend pick melons. And then I went to the community center to turn in a few things. I was also able to complete one bundle, the summer crop bundle. Day 54, I looked for the meteor that had spawned in over the night, and it was really cool. Me and my friend then went fishing for a red snapper, which I was able to catch.
That's it.
I then went to the community center to turn that little guy in, completing the ocean fish bundle. The start of day 55 had me re-kegging up all the kegs. I then bought an apple sapling from Pierre, which would come in really handy later on. I then plopped that sucker down and let it grow. I then started organizing some of the chests, as it was a disaster looking through them right now. And that's all I did for the entire night. It was just organization after organization. The last day of summer, day 56. The only thing of progression that I did today was completing the vault bundle, which would unlock the bus leading into the desert. Nice. Me and my friend then made our way down to the beach for the Moonlight Jellies, which is my favorite event in the entire game. And I'm going to let it play out fully, so skip to this time if you want to skip it. We were now in fall, and of course that meant prepping the fields for tons and tons of pumpkins.
Alright. Did you buy the CJ?
With the field now fully prepped, I headed over to Piers to buy the first round of pumpkin seeds.
We're going to buy 300 pumpkin seeds.
With the pumpkin seeds now in hand, of course, I went ahead and started planting them. Now, I might have overestimated a tad bit buying 82 extra seeds, but it'd be fine because we could use them for the next harvest. Then I made my way over to the saloon, where I was going to buy some salads for energy. And as the final act for the day, I was going to turn in some stuff for the artisan bundle, completing it. On day 58, I woke up and I realized it was the best luck day, so it was going to be the first run of Skull Caverns. I then waited till 10 AM for Pam to arrive to take me to the desert.
I can make crop products.
We can get all the stuff for crab pots on like the...
Now that we had access to the desert, I could also start collecting coconuts, which is one of Haley's loved gifts, but the more important thing is Skull Caverns. And with the Skull key in hand, I put it into the lock and it opened it up, giving us access to Skull Caverns. Now the first run of Skull Caverns did not go according to plan, and I ended up running out of time on floor 35, getting 0 iridium ore and pretty much 0 of everything else. Day 59 was also a max luck day, but instead of waiting at the bus stop for 2 hours, I decided to do things at the farm first, like tending to the animals. Unfortunately, I realized I didn't have a brown chicken, so I'd have to sell one of them, and it'd be Andrew, so never mind, no shout out to the Andrews. I then quickly ran down to Marnie's to buy a new chicken, hoping it would be a brown one. I then named it Burf, so shout out to any Burfs in the chat. And luckily it was a brown one, so we didn't have to get rid of it. Now it was time to hop on the bus and go to the desert.
Alright, back to the Skull Caverns I go, I suppose.
And that's exactly what I did. I went back into Skull Caverns. Once again, my luck was completely awful, so there's no point even showing anything. Day 60 had me doing a few things like collecting that oak resin and kegging up some of these empty kegs with melon. I forgot to show it, but at the start of fall you get the special orders board, and the main thing we were looking for here was the prismatic jelly quest. I then ran over to the mines and collected things I needed for the community center. And before I ran to the community center, I grabbed wood and stone to build the barn. Then I plopped it down right next to the coop.
Clear itself out, which is really cool.
Now I would head inside of the community center and turn in all the things that I had collected. I don't know when I got it, but I also got level 4 foraging when I went to sleep. Started day 61, there was a huge melon wine harvest.
A wine done today.
Of course, when I started collecting it, I also re-kegged with more melons. With that melon wine harvest done, we are now sitting at 93 melon wine and 19 melon jelly. I had also forgotten to plant down this eggplant that I needed for the fall crop bundle. I also went to check the traveling cart, and it had a very important item I needed, a periwinkle.
First of all, I got a periwinkle and it's called...
While I was buying wood from Robin, I also bought an extra 300 to repair this bridge for more forageables. And of course, I didn't have anything I needed. While I was running up to the community center, I gave Haley her first coconut gift.
Well, we still got the free.
While in the community center, I turned in the last 2 specialty fish, and then the periwinkle that I just got, leaving us with one more item till we completed the fish tank.
A punch.
And then a sea urchin, I guess. The start of day 62 had me checking up on my animals. I then ran around looking for hazelnuts, which I did find. And with that hazelnut, I was able to complete the fall foraging bundle.
Alright, that is that done.
While standing around, my friend sold some stuff, getting us over 250,000 gold earned on the farm, pushing us closer to the 1 million gold year 1.
250,000 gold.
For the rest of day 62, I just stood in the mines cooking up some ores. Day 63 had us over at the museum, where I went ahead and turned in a few more things.
See that?
Which is then I didn't really want.
I then made my way over to Marnie's because the barn was done being built, where I bought a cow. I then named him Yogurt, so shout out to any yogurts in the chat. I then ran over to the traveling cart to see if she had anything useful in stock. And she actually did. She had a crayfish, which was the last thing we needed to complete the fish tank. Also, a nautilus shell. And of course, I immediately went to turn him in, and then I tried to let my friend turn it in, but he didn't know the Junimo language yet.
I can't.
You can't read it, can you? Oh my.
Alright, give me the fish, bro. Drop me the fish back. Alright, I was gonna let you do the honors because you're doing all the fishing, but
Wow. Oh yeah, my dude don't know.
fish tank done. Unfortunately, the fish tank does not unlock anything useful, it's just panning. Day 64 had me in the bat cave where I was collecting some fruit, where I was able to pull a pomegranate, which was really nice. Huge! Of course, I immediately went to turn that in, along with a few more things. Now some people might notice that went from day 64 to 66. That's because day 65 got completely corrupted for some reason, and it's lost forever. But thankfully, it was one of those days where I stood around and did nothing. Disregarding all that though, day 66 started out pretty strong because we got to collect melon wine. I then ran over to Marnie so I could start constructing the big coop. Then I made my way over to the desert so I could collect all the coconuts. And with these fresh picked coconuts, I gave one to Haley immediately. And with that, I secured 2 hearts with her. Day 6, 7 had me checking on the animals. And once I was done with that, I headed over to the mines so I could start hunting for the dwarf scroll 2. It took most of the day, but I was able to finally drop the dwarf scroll, but I didn't notice it for a minute.
We're gonna need the big ones. Oh, I got the scroll. When did I even drop the scroll? I don't even remember. I didn't even see me dropping the scroll. Okay, cool. We got the dwarf scroll unlocked.
The start of day 68 had me checking up on the animals.
Deluxe upgrade.
I then made my way over to Marnie's so I could buy a duck as the coop upgrade finished. And I named him Egg. So if anyone is named Egg watching, hi. I then ran over to the museum so I could turn in the dwarf scroll I had obtained the other day. Alright, we can now talk to the dwarf and I can go buy bombs. I then stopped at the saloon again so I could buy more solids. Also, while I was at Marnie's, I bought heaters to prepare for the winter. And as the final act of the day, I talked to Haley. Started day 69. Nice. I ran over to the coop so I could pet all the chickens and cows. And then I also made sure to collect a pumpkin because it was Abigail's birthday today. Also, we ran out of melons, so we started putting pumpkins into the kegs. And then I made my way over to the community center to complete the quality crops bundle. And finally, we ran over to Abigail, giving her her birthday gift, getting us 3 hearts instantly.
Yeah, I have 3 hearts with her.
I also kind of impulse bought the 36 slot upgrade, but you always need more space. I then spent the rest of the day fishing just because. Started day 70 was going to be a pretty big day for me as my friend reached level 10, so I could finally start harvesting plants. And because I was harvesting so many pumpkins, I was able to hit level 8 farming in one harvest. I then ran over to Robin's and built the big barn. I then tracked down where Hilly was at and I gave her a coconut as a gift. I then had some stuff I had to turn into the community center. Also, we built a deluxe coop in the background and I was able to buy the rabbit. And I didn't even name this one, it was just named Jack. And when I went to sleep that night, I got so many level up messages. I also decided to pick the Tilla perk so that way I could also get the level 10 artisan perk. Start of day 71 had me looking at a chest for some reason. Just kidding, the real start of the day was buying pumpkin seeds.
5? Okay.
I did kind of forget to buy and plant these yesterday, so that's what I was doing today. And while I was on the farm, my friend got the prismatic jelly quest, and as you can tell, I was very excited. Oh yeah! I was so excited, in fact, that I immediately started searching for it. And the search continued on day 72, and that's exactly what I did the entire day.
First place, actually, but...
And while I was on the search for it, I was able to hit level 7 combat. Unfortunately, though, today was a bust, and I didn't get it. Day 73 was going to be more or less the same. I was going to go back to the mines as soon as possible. And while I was in the mines, I was able to find an infested floor on the next level.
Schedule?
And I was able to find the prismatic jelly.
Oh, I found it. I found it.
Once I had that prismatic jelly, I immediately gave it to the wizard, being able to unlock Monster Musk the next day. Day 74, I read the letter from the wizard learning how to make Monster Musk. I then waited by the bus stop for Pam to get there so I could go to the desert and hit Skull Caverns. And once again, I had awful luck. Started day 75 was another big luck day and I was going back to Skull Caverns for revenge. Every time I went there, I was ill prepared, so this time I went with bombs. I then hopped on the bus to go to the desert. And while I was in Skull Caverns, I was finally able to get my first prismatic shard, baby! As you can tell, I was very happy about this. Day 76 had me over at the community center where I completed the pantry, unlocking the greenhouse. This was a huge development for us because we could grow things during any season now. I then made my way over to the desert because I was going to turn that prismatic shard into the Galaxy Sword, one of the best weapons in the game. Oh yeah, Galaxy Sword required. Galaxy Sword. Goated. And of course I had to give my Queen Haley another gift. The start of day 77, I decided to start setting up the greenhouse for plants. I then ran over to Robin so I could put down a silo so we could start collecting hay for winter.
Other than
I then ran over to Clint so I could upgrade my pickaxe to gold. I also made my way into Sandy's shop for the first time, where I bought a ton of starfruit to plant inside of the greenhouse. And before the day was up, I started tilling all the spots I needed and of course started planting them. Day 78, I ran over to the bookseller so I could buy a few books. I went ahead and bought a price catalog because my friend wasn't using mods so he couldn't see the prices of anything. I then partaked in a little bit of trolling and made my friend think he didn't make a seed maker.
on me, I made one, bro.
I'm sure you didn't, bro.
It's already on the floor over here. You.
I know, because I placed it when I took it out the chest.
You a bitch.
Moving past my atrocious laugh, I started putting all of our ancient fruit into the seed maker to get more seeds. I then prepped the greenhouse to plant these new seeds. And of course I planted them and watered them. Started day 79, had me inside of the coop where I picked up a duck egg. I then ran over to Clint's to pick up my gold pickaxe that I put in a few days ago.
This is hazelnut sell for 9.
I also opened up a few geodes while I was here. And of course I had to turn in all of the new stuff I got.
Here's my thing, right?
The silo had also been built, so I was able to start collecting hay from all the grass we let spread throughout the year. Day 80 had a few pumpkins that I could harvest, which was pretty nice. I then ran over to my animals to start petting them. I was also able to pull an item I really needed.
Oh, we got a rabbit's foot. Yes.
I then went to turn that in, and that's pretty much the only interesting that happened today. Day 81 had me over in the desert, and because it was a Thursday, I was able to buy deluxe speed grow from Sandy. With my speed grow in hand, I put it on top of the ancient seeds and the starfruit.
And then, do you want me to put the coconuts in a different one?
I also started putting down some more tires because I actually really liked how they looked. The start of day 82 actually had me inside of my friend's house because I was helping him arrange his house a little bit better.
And then we just get another fish tank and put it there.
Also, the ancient fruit outside grew 2 more plants, so I seed makered them as well. And when I went to visit Haley, I got one of her hard cutscenes. You don't get to see it though. Go romance her yourself. Day 83 actually had us standing right outside of town because it was Spirit's Eve, my second favorite holiday in Stardew.
Latest event of the century, by the way.
While I was here, I went ahead and bought the rare crow. I then went around looking at all the costumes that my mod added.
Oh, Pam looks cool as fuck, actually. Dude, Haley looks so cool. No! No! I clicked off her dialogue. No!
After that painful misclick, I then went ahead and did the maze. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I kind of forgot how to do it midway through, but I did get the golden pumpkin in the end. And the last thing we did in the event is I bought the jack-o'-lantern recipe. We are now on day 28 of fall, and my house also got upgraded, which is pretty nice.
Last day of today.
Yep.
It was also pumpkin harvesting day, and this was able to push me all the way up to level 10 farming.
Even if it's not a poppy
Level
seed,
10,
bro.
baby.
I also decided to remove all the kegs and preserving jars as I wanted to decorate my house to make it look nice. Also, with the apple tree I planted back in summer, I was able to complete the Fodderers bundle. I then placed a plasma TV as I didn't have too many options right now, but that would change in the future. I also gave Haley another gift and it got me 5 hearts with her. I know you love the coconut. And when I went to sleep that night, I clicked on Artisan, getting me a 40% buff to all artisan goods. And one last thing, my friend got married to Abigail, so congratulate him in the comments.
I forgot I put it straight in this.
And as the end of the wedding came near, we were going in to winter first. The start of day 85, we were inside of the barn petting up all the animals. This is where I also realized one of my biggest mistakes of the run. I forgot that the pig does not come outside during the winter, meaning I can't get a truffle. Disregarding that though, I decided to move all the cakes from the farm as they looked really ugly. I then fixed up the farm because I noticed a few things that I didn't like about it.
There's a fish called, by the way.
It's glacier fish. I also started placing more pathways because there was 0 debris in the way. Yeah, a lot of these events are going to be done.
Bandito, bandito.
Oh, burrito bandito.
Dum, dum.
Mi
Bro, they sent me fucking
bonito.
sleep support. They got it's.
I decided the home for the kegs will be right outside the bus stop because there was a free area over there where I didn't have to worry about NPCs running into them. And with that, all the kegs we have right now are down. Started day 86, I was moving more of the utility items around. Place more. And when I was making my way into town, Krobus appeared for the first time. But before I investigated more of what that was, I filled out the rest of these kegs and started kegging these pumpkins. While I was following these footprints, I picked up a crocus which I needed for winter foraging.
Definitely need to start.
And when I checked behind this bush, Krobus was there and he gave me a magnifying glass so I could start finding secret notes.
Magnifying glass acquired.
Since I was next to the community center, I turned in a few more things.
Alright, we only need a snow yam.
And only needing a snow yam to complete the craft room, I went ahead and grabbed one. And I ran back to the community center, turning it in. And with this room done, that only left the bulletin board left. The start of day 87, the Queen of Sauce taught me how to make bread. I would also start regularly checking the coop to see if the duck dropped a feather. That's when one of the craziest things happened.
Can't marry, because the...
I got the garbage hat!
I got the garbage hat, dude.
Is that why that explosion just went off?
I just got the trash catalog back to back!
Let's see what I get. I'm gonna go open a trash can.
It's gonna happen before. Bro got caught naked.
Ain't no way, bro. This is my
Yeah, I get really cool rewards. Yeah, you get caught digging in the trash, buddy.
That's right, you saw it correctly. I finally, after all my time playing Stardew Valley, pulled the trash can hat. And then right after that, I pulled the trash catalog. That is so insanely rare. But after that excitement wore down, I went over to the quarry because we had just unlocked it. And instead of mining all this out, I just decided to bomb it all.
Level 10 mining.
Day 88 was the same thing, checking the coop to see if I got a duck feather.
Goat, dude.
I then went in my greenhouse and saw the first wave of starfruit was ready to harvest.
Cool.
After picking up all the starfruit, I went over to the desert to buy more seeds. But before planting them back, I threw down a few more ancient seeds. Started at 89, I went over to the museum and turned in a bunch of stuff. I then walked over to Clint's and upgraded our axe to steel. I then headed over to the mines where I crafted the first monster musk, and all this does is increase the spawn rate of monsters. And for the rest of the day, I just dust sprite farmed for the burglar's ring. The only notable thing on day 90 was the pumpkin juice was ready, and I replaced it with the starfruit that I had grown in the greenhouse. The start of day 91 had me over at the traveling cart to see if they were carrying a truffle. It was also Jody's birthday, so I stood outside of her door like a maniac swinging my sword. Finally, when she opened a door, I could give her a gift. I also gave Haley a gift and talked to her to get our friendship points up even higher. The start of day 92, we ran down to the ice fishing festival, and that's where we spent the entire day at. Obviously, me and my friend were competing in the ice fishing competition, and the entire time we were neck and neck. Once the fishing was over, we waited for Mayor Lewis to tell us who the winner was. That's when he said the winner was both of us. So that's pretty cool. Day 93 just had me taking this iridium rod and showing my friend a glitch that you can do with animation canceling.
I'll see you later, bro.
Unfortunately, I was the one who got pranked because I was left with this awful noise in my background the entire day.
It's a twerp.
The start of day 94 had me checking the coop to see if I got a feather. I still didn't.
You got that experience over me. You're almost like 30, so.
Actually,
After I was done making fun of my friend, I helped fix up his house a little bit more.
I think the bed.
I then decided my house needed sprucing up as well. And with the walls decided, I would have to work on the floors and everything else tomorrow. The start of day 95 actually had me over at the bookseller first because I wanted to see what books he had. He actually had a few books that I wanted, so I went ahead and just splurged a little.
I didn't even realize.
I then got back to customizing my house.
Awful, but.
Now the house was definitely coming together and looking a lot better, but trust me, it gets way better. Day 96, I stood around and did absolutely nothing. Day 97 was a lot more productive as the starfruit was grown, so I went ahead and picked all of that. Also, all the starfruit wine was done, so I went ahead and picked all that up and rekegged. I of course made my way back over to Sandy's to buy more starfruit seeds. And I put said seeds into the ground. After selling that starfruit wine, this happened.
1 million, bro. That's crazy.
Disregarding my lackluster reaction, we were able to hit one of our goals, which was 1 million gold, which is super cool. And with this new money in my pocket, I bought the furniture catalog. And now the real decorating began. Now the house wasn't fully done yet, but it was looking so much better. Started day 99, I ran over to Haley to give her a gift, and we were so close to getting her up to 8 hearts. We also made sure to hit up the next 3 winter markets on the 15th, 16th, and 17th respectively. The first one wasn't too interesting, but I did buy this painting. Day 100! Yes, that's right, we made it to day 100, but we're not going to stop here because it'd be a little weird to stop in the middle of the month. We're actually going to go to 112, so that way we complete winter. Getting into the day though, I saw that the ancient fruit was ready to be harvested, so that's exactly what I did. I then took a little bit of time before the night market to decorate my house a little bit more. Now this is probably the most important night market of them all because it would resell the poppy seed, which is one of the 2 items we needed to complete the community center. I actually lied, we needed 3 more items and it was the duck feather, which we got on day 101. Of course I immediately went to turn in that duck feather. Now all that's left is the chef bundle and we just need the truffle. Now unfortunately on the last night market of the month, we did not get the truffle. The start of day at 102, we went and visited Haley to give her a gift, but she didn't want to get out of bed. And I haven't done this for a while, but I was really bored so I went to reset floor mines. Started day 103, I immediately ran over the traveling cart and he did not have a truffle. No. I then found a secret note that told me there'd be a secret treasure around here and I was able to pick it up, which is kind of cool. I then realized the starfruit wine was ready to be harvested, so that's what I did for the remainder of the day. And as you can see, starfruit wine is really worth it. The start of day 104, I gave Evelyn a gift on her birthday to get hearts with her. I then went to the floors, but not to floor reset, but to Dust Sprite Farm for the burglar's ring, which I was actually able to get, which I did not think I was this close, but that's really nice to have. And of course I went to pick up my reward, the burglar's ring. The start of day 105, I immediately ran over the traveling cart again, and they did not have the truffle. No truffle, bro, no truffle. I then ran over to where Haley was sleeping, and I gave her a coconut, getting her really close to 8 hearts. Done. And for the rest of the day, I just did some fishing. Day 106, I saw that the starfruit were ready to be harvested, so that's what I did. I also was able to pull another trash can hat, which is kind of crazy.
Garbage hat. Found another garbage hat. You want it?
I also went to check out what the bookseller had, but I didn't really buy anything too crazy.
So good with what he does, bro. It's insane.
And then finally, I gave Haley her final gift, pushing her to 8 hearts. I then had my friend buy me the bouquet, so that way I could immediately make Haley my girlfriend. I then asked her to be my girlfriend, and she said yes. And don't think I forgot, I did head to the desert to pick up more starfruit seeds from Sandy. And I made sure to plop those in the ground too. Started day 107, I ran inside of the coop just because I wanted to see my chickens.
That'll be kind of wild, though.
I then went to talk to my new girlfriend. Oh, she got me blushing, twin. She got me blushing, twin. Disregarding all of that, I gave Lara her birthday gift.
She like, wow, you guys
Day 108, I just spent the day fishing. Day 109, I went and checked on my greenhouse and I saw that most of the ancient fruit was grown.
It's done growing too.
Of course I had to go keg all that. It was also Feast of the Winter Star and we decided to go to it.
Penny. If I get Penny, then I don't have a light gift for her.
I ran around talking to everybody so I could see their outfits, and of course, Haley looked the best. I was Shane's secret Santa this year around, so I gave him a rabbit's foot.
Oh, so it's you.
And my secret Santa was Sebastian, and he gave me a cool tea set. Once we got back after that event, we went to bed. We are now on the home stretch, only 2 more days left, but nonetheless, on day 110, I put down the final bits of decoration. Also, a ton of wine was done again, but money's not really an issue anymore. I also turned in the poppy, leaving just the truffle left.
Just the truffle left.
Day 27, I didn't really do anything, I just stood around. And now we're here on day 112, the final day, and with our hearts pumping as I went to go check the final traveling cart to see if it had the truffle.
Okay, I opened it up. The first 4, nothing. 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 Nope. Nothing.
That's right. We did not year 1 the community center, all because of this stupid pig. But nonetheless, it was still a fun time. I kind of just walked around the farm for the rest of the day, just exploring all of the things we had built and put down throughout the year, and realized, you know, we may have not gotten our goal, but me and my friend had a great time doing this. And I hope you had a great time watching this. It was super fun to make, and me and him really want to do 200 days. So if you guys want it, let me know, and we'll make it happen. So thank you guys for watching. This has been a great time, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Is what I would say if I didn't go to sleep and get an owl statue the next day, spring year 2. The luck in this run was absolutely insane, dude.
The last day.